us. Oh, come on, Tim. Say something. Don't let me give up on you. Oh, Tim. Tim. Don't know what's going on tonight, Tim. Tim's called into the show before, and he hasn't had problems. So I don't know what's going on. Until then, I want to instead get to Joseph calling in from Maryland. Hey, Joseph, you are live on Truth Wanted. What's going on?
So I want to like see if apatheism is like kind of like valid in some points, because like I called because like I wanted to make a stillman for it, because like some people probably like would like say apatheism is not needed, because like once it comes down to it, initially it's just whether you believe in a God or don't believe in gods. Or
yeah. So real quick, Joseph,
like that,
I want to clarify, because apatheist is not a super common term. Can you define what you mean when you say apatheist?
Yeah, apatheism is the attitude of apathy toward the existence or non-existence of God. It is more of an attitude rather than a belief, claim, or belief system. I got this from the Wikipedia. I'm reading Wikipedia right now.
Yeah. So like when I think of apatheism, it's like, the question of whether or not God exists, doesn't really matter. It's not really like a concern. Like that's kind of how I would sum up apatheism. It's like that's a particular question just isn't even considered in someone's worldview. Would you agree with that, Joseph?
Yes. Before I continue, I want to say that I'm a practical atheist, but I just want to see like what was your view on this word? That was, I think, coined in 2002.
Maybe. I don't know the history of apatheist and its etymology.
Yes. I think that in life, like there have been some like maybe African tribes who don't really care about the existence or things, but they according to what I read, they're considered to be atheists, because if maybe like some of them got asked the question that do they believe in a God or not, but like they just don't really.
Yeah,
they seem to just live life without it.
There's some world cultures for sure that like the God concept just like isn't a thing. Like it's almost as specific as like, it's like saying, do you believe in invisible frogs? Like, well, that's not really a question I really considered up until just now when I just made that up. So like, it's not even like in my worldview. So yeah, I think it's definitely a descriptor for kind of just worldviews and systems. But I'm kind of, I want to kind of guide you back here, because I think you were asking specifically a question for David and Nicole about apatheism in relation to Buddhism.
Or
was that not your question?
No. I think I understand that some Buddhism sects are not really like are pretty much atheists, because I do listen to Matt, and Matt did say that some not all religions are like theists in a way.
Yeah, and Nicole and David, I think you guys would agree that your practice has nothing to say about any gods, right?
It's not about any gods or any deities. You're not worshiping anyone or anything.
Yeah, and there's some people out there who think that a requirement for religion is a belief in a god, and like Buddhism is the classic example of definitely not. No, like, and that's old enough to matter. You know what I mean? It's not just like a new fangled thing. It's like, nah, this is a thing. Like, it's been here for a while.
Right.
I do. What am I saying? I do think that it's nice to be like. I'm pretty sure you know what an atheist is, but when they say a practical atheist, also you know what that means, right?
Well, what do you mean when you say practical atheist?
Practical atheism is the view that once you live life with this regard towards a God, practical atheism does not really reject or accept the claim about gods. Like for example, I would say if today, right, let's say the Abrahamic God exists, I would still live my life and not even worship that God, because people think like just because their God will exist, that it will have some kind of role in everybody's life, while some people just want to be independent and try to go the other path.
Yeah. So Joseph, I live in Austin. These guys are in Portland. Most of the liberals in this city are practical atheists. Okay, like they just kind of are, but they don't really use. Most of them probably don't use the word atheist because it's just not really. It doesn't really. It matters so little to them that it's not just even a thing. I wish more people would use the word. I mean, I obviously make an active effort to use the word because I think it's important to kind of make that distinction, and it's certainly a conversation starter. But like I agree with you. There's definitely a practical atheism out there. I wouldn't go up to somebody on the street after hearing them talk and be like, "You're just an atheist," because again, like I'm not going to use the label on them. I may suggest it to them and be like, "Hey, have you considered this label?" But it's interesting that there's probably more atheists